Good morning. I'm Jerry Goldman. I'm your attorney. I'm recording this video on Monday morning, June 15th, and I want to bring you up to date on the number of things that are going on with your cases and try to answer some of the questions that you have. First and foremost, and from day one, this is foremost, our case against Saudi Arabia. I brought that case against Saudi Arabia as a class action to benefit each and every victim of 9/11. Every family that lost somebody on that horrible day was covered in a class action that the O'Neill family asked me to file, and which I filed on March 10th, 2004. Many people thought it was a bad idea. Some people thought it was a horrible idea. I thought it was a great idea. And I didn't listen to those who thought it was a horrible idea. And we're moving forward on that case. As you know, we got that great result almost a year ago now, Judge Daniel's decision. And we're up at the appellate court. And I'm pleased to let you know that we just filed our reply brief in support of the cross appeal. Now, I think the cross appeal is a great idea. I think it's a great idea because if I have two arrows, I'm going to use both of them. Even if I know I have a great shot with one of them, I don't know what a court's going to do. So I make sure I have two. And I don't know what will happen after we win. I think we're going to win under a direct appeal for sure. But I want to protect you and use both of those arrows. And when we win, I want to use every tool I have available, to prevail on your behalf against Saudi Arabia. That's the focus of this litigation. That's your main source of getting justice. You'll see in the electronic version of this a link to our reply brief. There wasn't a sealing order issued by the time our brief was due, so we filed it publicly last week, at the end of last week. I believe it was Friday. And it's there for you to read. And I urge you to read it. And I have the links to the earlier briefs. Read them all. It's your case. You have a right to know what's going on. In a couple of weeks, there'll be a supplemental appendix filed, or deferred appendix filed, and then we'll have to clean up the briefs with the new page numbers. And then the court will set oral argument. You'll know when that historic day is, and I'll let you know what happens. Okay? I'll go into a couple of small things now. The Taliban case is not dead. There may be other assets available for the Taliban, and there are, or maybe, and I'm not showing you what we're going to do yet, other avenues of pursuing the case against the Taliban. I'll be filing soon a motion under 54B like we did for Iran for the Taliban. I'll be adding those who came into the case in the last couple of months, making an application to get them into the framework agreement if that moves forward, and I believe it will, and I hope it will. And that's going on with the Taliban. Dubai Islamic Bank, court hasn't issued a decision. That's not surprising. It's a case, essentially a first impression following the historic decision of the Supreme Court last June. They have to analyze it under these new standards, and I believe when they analyze it under the new standards, that case will go forward. It was argued on February 23rd. We may get a decision this summer. If we don't, we should get it early in the fall. The charities. Briefing for summary judgment is already started. Our briefs are due middle of August. Sudan, we've gotten some more documents from the U.S. government. Court still hasn't scheduled argument on the motion to compel on the production of CIA documents. Iran. And I'll talk a little bit about Iran and the politics of Iran at the end of this. But let me just talk about the litigation, because that's what you hired me to do, and that's what I'm doing. 6th round, for all intensive purposes, for 99% of you, 99+% of you, 6th round is done. And that's good. I think we had almost 2,900 claims in the 6th round. I think at this point, 2 haven't been paid by the VSST, and they're trust and estate issues, and they'll get resolved, and at some point, those 2 will get paid. I don't know the exact number of claims where we've received the money from the VSST and haven't paid it. I was going to look before I recorded this, but didn't get a chance. It's about 40, again, out of almost 2,900. And all of them are, sadly, people who recently died or interfamily trust and estates issues and things like that. And they're slowly getting resolved, too. I think we got another 15 or 20 of them done in the last couple of weeks. 7th round. Getting a lot of calls about the 7th round. What I put on the videos and write in newsletters have a reason. I don't know. Nobody knows. And if you call the paralegals tomorrow, they'll give you the same answer I just gave you. We don't know if there's going to be a 7th round. The VSST is not designed to be our primary source of recovery. It's not. Our merits cases against the defendants are. We've received, on your behalf, significant amounts, particularly those who got into the 3rd round. And I'm hopeful of getting further amounts in the future, but we simply don't know. And it's a political decision way above all of our pay grades. Those are things that have to get addressed in the ballot box. We advocate on your behalf, but I don't know. If there is a 7th round, based on the numbers I've seen, it's not going to be a very big round. There'll be something. But I don't know if there will be a 7th round or not. That being said, the VSST gave us a deadline of June 1st. We let the district court know. She said if we had judgment motions in by a certain date, she'd do her best efforts to respond and get them done. And for those who we were able to get it in for that date, she did the right thing and gave us those decisions. Now, one person gave us materials late. I'm not adverse to trying a Hail Mary, as they say in sports. I think right now we have to talk about sports, right? Go New York, go. Okay. Yeah, I'm still wearing orange shoes and blue socks, okay? But I'm going to the Yankee game tomorrow. We tried. We didn't succeed on that one. Okay. That person will get in next time. We withdrew the application so the VSST doesn't say, well, you didn't get a judgment within 90 days, blah, blah, blah. We'll take care of it. We also have 2 complaints out there that have been sitting out there waiting for service. That's the Manning and the Salinardi, and hopefully I pronounced them both correctly. Those complaints have been sitting out there for a long time trying to get served. Conflict in the Middle East has all sorts of consequences. Among them is there's no mail service, and among them there's no diplomatic missions open in Tehran, or at least the Swiss isn't. So we can't do service. So those people are being delayed, and that's unfortunate. Just like Lum was delayed, and we were able to get them in at the last minute. Simultaneous death. I'm really glad we got that result that I talked about in the past. The Court of Appeals finally issued its mandate, which is the permission for the district court to move forward on that. We submitted a letter into the district court asking them to move forward. It boils now in the judge's hand. That was simultaneous death. The Administrative Procedure Act appeal, that case is fully briefed in the DC Circuit, and the key question that affects everybody is the subject and scope of judicial review of the special master's decisions. Bitcoin. I've told you in the past, I don't know if we're going to be able to get these assets. I don't even know for sure if these assets properly belong to terrorism victims. There's good information that said it was, and based on that, I, along with Motley and Kreinler and Spicer, joined forces and put in that claim for something like $95 billion plus interest and treble damages and all that other stuff. A number that far dwarfs anybody else's claims there. Judge still hasn't ruled on anybody's issue as to timeliness. Judge still hasn't ruled as to any of the issues of intervention. And the judge hasn't ruled as to whether or not these assets are subject to collection. I don't think it's a bad thing that she hasn't ruled. My guess, and all it is an educated guess from this 1,000 years that I've been practicing law, is that she's giving a period of time for people to file their motions, and then she'll do a cutoff date. Do I think I'm right? Yeah. Do I know I'm right? No. As to our 1610, that's a predicate for getting people enforceable judgments after we got Judge Knepper and Judge Daniels' decisions. We're filing those probably this week. For those people who we never received official judgments for, but they were good enough for the VSST, and from my perspective, that's what counted. We're making an application again within the next couple of days to get those and serve them. And we're going to divide everything up ratably if we win, because I think that's the fair thing to do. Some people think otherwise. They think they should get their judgments collected before everybody else. I know what the law says. I would prefer all of this to go into the VSST, but I think that involves legislation. I also think the judge has, within her discretion, the ability to fairly and equitably distribute these funds, because nobody has a writ of attachment yet. That's different between what we faced with regard to the Taliban and this, and that's why we've urged that nobody get a writ of attachment first. Some people are trying. As long as they're transparent and not trying to mislead people, I think they're wrong. I prefer people to be transparent in what they do. We think it should be equitable. We think it should be fair. And when I say we, I'm saying probably 97, 98% of the plaintiffs. We have an appeal based on that. There's been a lot of noise about that. Yes, it is true. If they prevail, your judgments are at risk as to Iran. Hell, if they prevail, one view of it is their own judgments as to Saudi Arabia are at risk. Well, not judgments, but their cases against Saudi Arabia are at risk. I think it's not a wise thing that they're doing, but they have a right to pursue it. And we have a right to push hard to protect you. And us and almost all the firms in this case, 99% of the victims plus, are united in fighting those appeals. A third party filed a brief the other day. We're filing a motion to file a reply. I think we should get it. Can't guarantee it by any stretch of the imagination. But like we've done from day one, we're fighting to protect your interests. And last, I know the anniversary is coming up. And we're working on things to take that anniversary and respect it, to respect the 25 years that it's been, to respect the fact that my litigation has been going on for over 22 years. I understand litigation fatigue. I understand the game that they're playing. We will take actions and recommend what we, in our hearts and in our heads, think is best for you. I'm proud to represent you. I'm proud to fight on your behalf. I've done it since March of 2004. I'll continue doing it until I get justice for each and every one of you. Thank you.